How's it going, everybody? Today I have an overview and my impressions on the Spyderco Tenacious. So the Spyderco Tenacious has been around for a pretty long time. It is not a new knife. There are new variants coming out with different handle materials, different coatings on the blade, and there are even some upgraded versions out there. And there are aftermarket scales and clips for the Tenacious as well. The Tenacious from Spyderco was, for its time when it came out, a decent overseas made pocket knife that was in the budget category. So with Spyderco, a lot of their knives are not within the budget friendly realm. But when the Spyderco Tenacious came out, it was from Spyderco in their more budget line. And it is made overseas in China. Now, Spyderco does now have a offshoot sister brand called Bird, which is kind of a budget version, similar design features to Spyderco. But nonetheless, Spyderco does come up with some of their knives, still with the Spyderco logo on it, that are made overseas. And they do knives made from Taiwan, from Italy, and China, and other places as well. But for the time when this Spyderco Tenacious came out, it was a pretty significant piece in the EDC community. So it was budget friendly, had a lot of the Spyderco features that people love. So the good G10, good handle materials, the Spidey hole, decent lockup, good quality from Spyderco, just at a more decent price. Now, this isn't a video arguing about how the Spyderco Tenacious holds up today, but in my opinion, the Spyderco Tenacious today does not hold a candle to the budget options that we have now from Civivi, CJRB, Sencut. A lot of these other budget-friendly knife companies are coming out with a lot more better designs, better updated steels, and just general better knives at better prices. So the Spyderco Tenacious can range between 60 and 80 bucks, which, given for what you get, is really not that great. So yes, you do get pretty decent G10, good ergonomics, so a nice, good filling handle, very comfortable, a good thumb ramp, good Spidey hole for opening, so very convenient, especially if you have gloves, just for convenience of opening. A very strong liner lock, so a lot of liner locks are very kind of flimsy, kind of janky, but the Spyderco Tenacious has a very strong, thick liner lock, and it has very good lockup. So if you can just hear with this lockup, it has a very solid lockup. So very reliable. So a lot of the things that we would expect from Spyderco. So this particular variant of the Spyderco Tenacious is in 8CR13 MOV, which again is partly why the Spyderco Tenacious is not really keeping up with a lot of the other budget friendly knives, as they do have better steels. Now, even though this is not a top tier steel, definitely a budget steel, you do get a very decent amount of blade length. So there is about 3.25, 3.5 inches of cuttable edge on this knife, which is very nice, despite the steel not being the highest in edge retention. It is going to be fairly corrosion resistant, which is going to be good, and it's coated as well. So every steel component on here is going to be coated in some type of paint material, which will fade off with time, but I wouldn't worry too much about this variant of the Spyderco Tenacious wearing off. And just looking at this version, the green G10 feels very good. Not as good as Spyderco's USA made line of knives, like the Spyderco PM2, which G10 feels a lot more premium and grippy than the Spyderco Tenacious. So keep that in mind. Nonetheless, their ergonomics are great, feels very good. Solid knife, in my opinion, just a little overpriced for what you get. Standard pocket clip on there as well, so nothing special. Standard Spyderco pocket clip, going to be very strong, good retention, and reliable. And it does have a small lanyard hole on there as well if you decide to want to put a lanyard on there. It is also a 4-way reversible for the pocket clip, so you can put it on the right and left sides, both tip up and tip down carry. So for me, the Spyderco Tenacious is a knife that I am okay with beating on and kind of beating the crap out of it. So it's kind of a beater knife for me, but it's more of a, in my opinion, a higher quality or a beater knife that I'm not going to be worried about it necessarily failing on me. So it's not a cheap, janky knife for any means. It's well built. But as far as budget knives go, it just does not hold up. But I will say the green G10 and the black coated steel makes a very visually appealing knife, and it is a very nice addition to a collection, especially if you like that style. And again, with looking at Spyderco knives, again, not everyone can afford a Spyderco PM2, and I understand that. And I would say if you're unsure about Spyderco knives, if you're going to like it or not, the Tenacious is a great kind of starter knife into the Spyderco realm. Again, as far as budget knives go, it's not the best. Again, not really the best bang for your buck, but if you are kind of wanting to dive into the Spyderco knife realm, kind of want to know what it's all about, but don't want to spend the price tag on those knives, and the Spyderco Tenacious or anything in this line, so the Persistence and some other versions similar in this family of the Tenacious family, then I think it's a great kind of transition to see if you like Spyderco knives. So again, looking at this knife as a whole, I think it is a good knife, just not holding up as well today. If Spyderco could come out with a little update on better steel, I think this would be holding a little bit of a better stance in the realm of budget folding knives. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Rocky Mountain EDC for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.